Hello everyone, this is D-Vang. Welcome to another episode of the Outlaw Joseph Scott's. This is episode 57, entitled Light as a Feather. In this episode, we are doing the fourth mission from the Caverns of Cynder. And this time, Joseph will actually be going into Cynder, so we'll get a good look, or at least a look, at some of the things going on in Cynder. So, here we go. Alright, and here we are. Scenario 4 of the Caverns of Cynder, or Mission 4, called Fire and Ash. Rumors have been swirling that a mine has been found with a stable gateway leading to another dimension. A smoldering lava world ruled over by an ancient evil and filled with flows of molten magma and burning lakes of fire, where dark stone melts into liquid and the air you breathe practically burns to the touch. There are stories of dark, sprawling temples devoted to the ancient god Belial, watched over by massive stone statues and home to untold treasures, collected from across all of space and time. Of course, there are also tales of hulking monsters made from the very rock and lava itself, and horrific torture chambers filled with chains and brutal tools of torment. It is said that there are entire caverns filled with row upon row of rusty cages, home to lost souls lured by their lust and greed, now waiting to be devoured by the Lord of Cynder, scourge of worlds, last remaining of the Shadow Kings, Belial. But those are just rumors, right? Love their little stories here. Alright, so setup obviously sets up as normal. The goal: find a gate that leads to the smoldering, lava-filled caverns of Cynder and explore the fiery tunnels. Once in the caverns of Cynder, the heroes must find 2 clue icons to have explored the area and successfully completed the mission. Special rules: all gates lead to Cynder. And mine clues add a gate. Any clue icon that the heroes find in the mines automatically has a gate in that room, in addition to any other exits. So there you go. Objectives: second clue in Cynder. When the heroes find the second clue icon in the Caverns of Cynder, they have reached the objective for exploring this other world. Ignore any attacks or encounters on the token, and ignore any door or gate icons on the token. Reveal all growing dread cards, and then the heroes face an epic threat, obviously high for being a single character. And as a reminder, any time a normal threat card would be drawn in Otherworld, an Otherworld threat card is drawn instead. And then once all enemies have been defeated, the hero successfully completed the mission. As a reward, each hero gains 25 experience and rolls a d6. 1, 2, 3, or 4, you recover gold, d6 times 50 gold. On a 5 or 6, you find a special item. You could draw a mine artifact. However, the item is cursed. At the end of every adventure, including this one, a hero with this artifact must either take 1 corruption point, ignoring willpower, or add an extra traveling hazard when traveling to town. Huh. I wonder if there's a way to get rid of the curse. Doesn't say. So it's probably something that's going to get sold, but you know, some people can take corruption points, and some people don't mind the extra travel hazard. It's not a travel hazard roll, but you actually get a travel hazard. So obviously you have a roll for which travel hazard, but it's not a roll to see if you have a second travel hazard. And failure, you take a d6 corruption points, ignoring willpower. Pretty simple, so why don't we get started? Roll 2, hold back the darkness. A 5 will not work. Starting off great. Joseph gets to move. Alright, we'll take the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is enough to find and thing, and it is a blocked rail. Just the camera. Okay.
And we find one exit and an attack. The one exit is to the right. And he is attacked by one slasher. Alright, then with 3 abilities. It's a 1, 2, and a 4, with a 1 being Barbed Claws. The slasher combat hits are now +2 damage. A 2 being Hateful Chitter, so Fear 2 is now Terror 2. And a 4 is Darkstone Mutation, so they're now actually Terror 3, and he has the keyword Void. Let me place him up here. Boom, like so. And move the track by 1. And then it's the start of a new round. So, hold back the darkness. Will succeed. The slasher has initiative 6, so we'll go first. He has a move of 5. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite get to Joseph. Perfect. So then it's Joseph's turn. So it's a Terror 3. Joseph has to roll. And don't forget, Joseph started with 5 wounds, and he fails all of those. But I will take it. I'll take the three sanity hits. So Joseph rolls to move. 5 and a 6. You know, I do outrange him. You know, he only moves 5, and now since I've got the barrels, I can just kind of kite him. Does mean that Joseph's gonna, you know, get farther away from the exit, but if I don't kill him this round, then he will get some swings on me, and I don't know that I necessarily need to take that risk. So sure, I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and back Joseph up. We'll try to play it a little safe as far as that. Now, we may run into an issue with time, but let's see. So, he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. He can go here. Yep, so Joseph needs to be here. Out of the range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have a range of 9. Because Joseph purchased the barrels. Hooray for the barrels. And then Joseph gets to shoot. Usually these slashers haven't been too bad for Joseph. So if he rolls poorly like that, though, you know, because I did back up and I'm not at risk of getting hit again, I'm not going to spend a grit. I want to save onto my grit, so I get 1 free reroll for his skill for each of the pistols. And both those hit, so then he gets a reroll with the bandolier, which is a hit, and it's another 6. So that gives him 3 more hits. So this should be pretty good. Now here we have the slasher. It has a defense of 4 and 10 hit points. Joseph is a 1 for the Darkstone bullets, 2 for his skill, so he's a 3, so -1 on each die. And that's going to be way plenty, so we'll go 1 and 2 is 3, and this turns to a 3 is 6, and this turns into a 3 is 9, so that will be 4 hits, or 5 hits, and that kills it. I guess Joseph didn't need to back up, but hey, you never know. Never know. Joseph then gets to, so he killed 1, so I'm going to heal sanity from that. And then that was for his buckle. And then his catches his breath, he's going to heal 1. I'll take 1 of his 5 wounds that he started with. Remember, those were from the doctor, healing his corruption. So he's got 4 wounds, 2 sanity. And then he gets a loot card. And his loot card is draw a gear card. Hooray! And the gear card is a pipe. Recover 1 grit anytime he passes the lore test. Nice. Well, and he gets +1 lore. And it doesn't weigh anything, which is always nice. So, hold back the darkness. A 7 will succeed. Then Joseph gets to move. So 3 or a 1. Since I'm so far back, I'm going to go ahead and take the 3. I'm not going to scavenge. So hold back the darkness. A 7 will still work. Roll to move. Again, a 3 or a 1. I'm going to take the 3. Hold back the darkness. Move this back. A 5 will fail. It's going to get a darkness card, which is a cave in. Each hero pass an agility 6+ test or take a d6 hits. Well, Joseph has 6, so he passes. Not too hard since agility is his strong point. And then Joseph gets to move. 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is just enough to get him there. And let him look through. And we find a rickety bridge. There we go. And a new token, which is 1 exit, 2 encounters. So the exit is in direction, so it's to the left. And then 2 encounter cards. So the first one is a Void Lair. The second one is explosives. So we know what the explosives are. Joseph doesn't care about explosives. Dynamite tokens. Now the Void Lair, all heroes on this map tile need to roll 1 higher to hit for their attacks. And then in addition, roll a d6. A 5, dormant egg sacs, no effect. Okay, so luckily, no void spiders, no real thing going on there. So it'll be new turn. Oh, and move the track by 1. Pull back the darkness. A 6 will fail. Move it up to 3. Joseph gets to move. Double 6s. Alright, well that will help me get through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite enough to get anywhere, but on his way anyway. Hold back the darkness. A 3 will fail. So that will get us another darkness card, which is Overwhelming Dread. Add a Growing Dread card. So first Growing Dread, and then let's go ahead and move for Joseph. Okay, either one of those is both work. And let us see what we have. We have rail chutes. Okay. Place like that. And we get a token. 3 exits. An encounter, and one of those exits is a gate because of the clue icon. So the gate is in the middle, which is the important one because Joseph has to go that way. And then 1 encounter. The encounter card is Mangled Remains. Broken and twisted mess that looks like it may once have been a human rests here. The sight is not pretty. The smell is worse. If there's someone you were looking for as part of your mission, there is not. Otherwise, each hero may take a Spirit 6+ test. If passed, recover a grit. If failed, take a d6 horror hits. Joseph, with his Spirit of 1, is going to decline. He is not going to try the Spirit test. And so that's it. So pretty easy breezy. Hold back the darkness. 7 is good enough. We should be 3 on the track. 7 is good enough, so Joseph then gets to move. Alright, and a 6 and a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up there at the top. Let me rearrange the map here, because I don't need those encounters. I can take all this stuff off, because we are going into the other world, which will be the Caverns of Cynder. So we find the statue chamber. Alright, there we are. An exploration token. So, hold back the darkness. A 5 will fail. Gets us up to 5. Joseph gets to move. Well, he's just going to move 1. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. Because right there he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, if it's somebody like Hungry Dead, they could be really slow. So, although it's unlikely, but we'll stay there. I don't know which direction's going to be that. Now, some things to note on the Caverns of Cynder. So, let me kind of zoom in here on this tile. So you see some of those squares have kind of a yellow border around them. So those are called lava spaces. What that means is there's a yellow border and there's a number in the corner. Let's see if I can let me get a different tile. And okay, let me bring that up here. See if we can get one focused in right there. See, like that. So, see, it's got a kind of yellow border on it. It's got a 5+ there, and obviously, like that one doesn't, and that one doesn't, but that one does. 2+, 2+. Okay. So what that means is, when a hero enters a lava space, they must roll a d6 to attempt to safely navigate that space without getting burned. And a hero with agility 4 or higher gets to roll 2d6 and use the higher of the 2 rolls. So agility is better, obviously higher here. If the roll is equal to or greater than the dodge number, the hero avoids the lava and is safe. So a higher number is more difficult. And then, if it's less than, so if you fail, the hero is burned by lava and takes a d3 burning markers. Remember we said I think it was last game, or one of the recent games where we ran into a lava man who spat some stuff at him and made him burn. Burning basically takes 1 point of damage per marker at the start of your turn. And 1 comes off per turn. So you'll take 3, and then you'll take 2, and then you'll take 1, assuming if you had 3 burning markers. So they're kind of nasty. Lava only affects heroes when they enter the space, not if they start their turn on a space. So if you end your move on a lava space, you don't have to roll to leave that space, or that you're starting in that space. So that's good to know. And enemies are not affected by lava. The only exception is if a hero causes an enemy model to be moved into a lava space, and then the enemy is considered knocked into the lava and can take a D3 burning marker. So, if you have something that's able to manipulate enemies, so you can knock them around, you can knock them into lava. The other thing to keep in mind here is the special ability for the Caverns of Cynder. So the global rule for Caverns of Cynder is, due to the intense heat, at the start of each hero's activation, they automatically take 1 hit for every clothing item they currently have equipped. Of course, items can be equipped or unequipped at the start of each turn. So heroes may find it advantageous to take off their hats, boots, coats, etc. until they find themselves in a situation where it would be useful, like a fight. And obviously, while unequipped, items give no benefit to just carrying it. All heroes are also considered to have +1 max grit. So you can hold 1 more grit. Now, as far as clothing items, what does Joseph have? Joseph has the bandana. So obviously he won't be wearing that. He has the tribal armor, which is clothing. And he has the helmet, which is clothing. The bandolier is gear. The buckle is clothing. Okay, so he has 4 pieces of clothing. We just have to kind of keep track of that. And nothing else that he has is clothing. The bandana is going to be the least useful. He can probably pretty much keep that off. The buckle, the helmet, and the tribal armor are all going to be very important for when we get into a fight. Now, obviously, he can choose to equip it, unequip it at the start of the turn before he activates. And then it's only when he activates that he will take those hits. Now, those are hits, so obviously he does get defense and he does get armor saves against those because it does not say otherwise. Long kind of explanation, but there you go. So now it is the end of that turn. I don't know if I should zoom in a little bit more. If you look right in front of Joseph, so there is a 2+ right in front of him. There's a 4+ and some 5+s right around there. So he's going to have to go through some lava in order to get through here. It will depend which direction. There's more on this left side. Basically, it kind of makes this L shape. Here is all lava. As you can kind of tell, it's pretty well indicated by the spaces, by the art on the spaces, to a large degree. If it looks like there's something burning on the floor, there is. I guess they would probably say, half or more of the space there is. And obviously, the more that's in there is the higher, the higher numbers. So you can see this space has lots, so it's a 5. This space is maybe barely half, so it only has a 2+ to avoid. These both with that bright glowing circle, but still has some empty space. Those are 4s. This is a 3, so it's going to be slightly more than this one, but it certainly doesn't have the big glowing that one. That's a 3 instead of a 4. So they did a pretty good job of representing it on the map tile itself. Sorry. With that said, let's see what the exploration token is. So there's 1 exit and an encounter. Ooh, Caverns of Cynder encounter. First one ever. Which direction is the exit? The exit is to the right. So we close off 2 others. So close that. Close that. And he has 1 encounter, which is called Crumbling Crust. The crust beneath your feet begins to give way as you step across the ashen floor, revealing a flow of molten magma below. Anytime a hero moves out of a non-lava space on this map tile, roll a d6. On the roll of 1 or 2, place a lava 5+ marker in the space the hero just left, and this remains in play. So as he walks through here, the map is going to change. There's going to add lava to these places, or make the lava worse in the case of some. Okay, interesting. Well, that is it. Well, there's only one direction to go. That was his encounter. So it is Joseph needs to hold back the darkness. So it's the start of the turn. Joseph is unequipping his gear, or his clothing, I should say. So he doesn't have the bandana, the tribal armor, the belt buckle, or his helmet on right now. It is just too hot. And he has no need to wear them because there are, because there's no fight. So that he has to roll to hold back the darkness. A 9 is good. Then Joseph gets to move. He has 3s. Alright, so this is what's going to happen. So Joseph can move 3 spaces. So he's going to move 1 here. That's a 2+. He gets 2 dice because he has agility of 4 or more. He needs to roll 2 or better. So as long as I don't get snake eyes, good thing that wasn't in the box. Whoa, he barely skimmed that. So that was movement of 1. Movement of 2, he's going to move there. There's no lava there. However, because of the crumbling, he has to roll the crumbling crust. He rolls a d6. 1, 2, or 3, there's a lava token that's going to change that to a 5+. Does not. Okay, and that was his second move. And his third move will be to here. And again, he has to roll for that space, and it still does not crumble. So Joseph's being pretty nimble. Pretty nimble there. And let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Okay. And that was Joseph's turn. So hold back the darkness. Again, dice issues. If I could certainly roll in the box. So a 6. So, Otherworld. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing. People have talked about the events are on the back of the book instead of being on the card. I agree that it's kind of annoying that it's, to an extent, that it's on the back of the book. But it doesn't need this big card. First of all, it would be nice to have the mine events. Again, because the mine events are the same. Okay, so you have this front page would be nice. What do you put on the back? You don't need another town, right? Especially since we're getting the expanded town. We don't need another town on the back of it. So what do you put on the back? It's kind of a waste. Conceivably, they might have been able to do like a half size that has the town on one, or the town events, or the mine events, I should say, on one side, and then the other world on the other. I would like that. That would be more useful. This isn't horrible. I mean, it keeps all the Cynder stuff together on this book. But it would be nice because obviously, again, I try to keep this open to the scenario so I know, keep track of everything. And then if we get an event, then I gotta flip to the back. But just pointing that out there. So anyway, we have an event with double 3s. Double 3s are creeping darkness, move the darkness 2 steps forward on the depth track, which is not good. That'll put us up to 7 and pass through a growing dread card or space. So we get another growing dread card. Now, Joseph gets to move. Going for movement, 6 and a 1. Well, I want to get going. The darkness is halfway through. I haven't found a single clue token in the other world yet, and I need 2, so time could be a factor. And especially since I need to fight a high threat when I get to the last room. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 6. We're going to move here. And slide all this over. How far away was I? I was actually here. So let's go. Sorry. We need to keep track of the crust there. So we're going to move 1. Again, light as a feather. And then Joseph will move there. Again. Yes, he is ninja, or whatever you want to say. There, he hasn't crumbled a single one. Although the space he's on counts as being in this room. So when he leaves this half space here, he will need to roll for that. And now we look through and we find a new room, which is a lava lake. Ooh. Alright, and Joseph comes in like that. And we get a token. Right there. And we move the track there. So we're right at 11, just at the border of 7 and 8. So we get a gate. There's one exit, it's a gate, and an encounter. So the gate's going to go to another portion of the Caverns of Cynder, because all gates go to Caverns of Cynder. There's an encounter, and he has this the first of his 2 clue tokens. So the gate is in direction 2, so it's going to be straight ahead. And then the encounter, second encounter in the Caverns of Cynder is venting steam. Geysers of steam shoot up from cracks in the crust all across the uneven floor of this rocky chamber. At the start of each turn, every hero in this map tile must make a luck 4+ test. If failed, the hero takes D3 wounds, ignoring defense, as they are burned by a powerful jet of steam. And the map tile can be scavenged up to 3 times. Alright, I'm going to kind of shift this over. Joseph's heading that way. So, hold back the darkness. Oops, you guys didn't see that. There we go. So, that holds back the darkness. Joseph then gets to move. Start of each turn. So he has to make a luck 4+ test. Well, luckily his luck is 5. It's his second highest stat, so he succeeds. So he does not take any wounds. Then he gets to roll the move. 6 and a 4. Well, I think we want to try to get out of this as quickly as we can. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do have to roll for this tile again. Didn't cause any of this crumbling crust to occur. And then Joseph will look through. So let's go ahead and get rid of this, because that's not going to be necessary anymore. Okay, his new tile is the magma pit. Okay. Put that in kind of like that. Oh, and I should point out, in fact, I'm going to kind of scooch this back here, that I actually, again, forgot, well, I shouldn't say again, I forgot about the lava. So, Joseph had 6 movement, so he had enough movement to avoid the majority of these. So he started here, he had a 6, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll have him go there. So what that means is that he did go through 1 lava space that was a 3+, and he succeeds. I've got to remember that, obviously. So let's go ahead and move this back down. And he explored, so that puts us now into the 8+ realm. Joseph needs to, we get a encounter token, or exploration token there. So Joseph needs to hold back the darkness. So turn 6, 7, 8 is enough. Venting steam, he also has to make the luck test to see about the venting steam. Gets 1 success, so that's enough though. And then Joseph rolls to move. 2 and a 1. So I'm going to take the 1, which gives me another grit. So he's up to 3 grit. Gets me off of this venting steam card. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And then we will need to see what there is at this exploration token, which is one exit and an encounter. So the exit is in to the left. So this is not an exit. Oh, too far. There we go. And an encounter. Ooh, another encounter. They've been interesting so far. Lots of remains in play ones. This is, it's another remains in play, a stone sentry. An ancient stone soldier stands watch over the passage ahead. With fire in his eyes, his stare burns into your soul and your flesh. Any hero starting their activation on this map tile must pass the following: a Spirit 5+ test. Jeez, if successful, gain 20 experience. You do not need to make this test again. If failed, you take D3 burning markers as the sentry judges you unworthy. And that's every turn. Plus, he has to run through lava. Okay, ouch. So I foresee lots of burning markers in Joseph's future. Now, luckily, I do have a number of herbs. And so now it is Hold Back the Darkness. A 10 will succeed. So Joseph starts. He has to make a Spirit 5+ test with his 1 die. And he does! Alright, so we have to get through this as quickly as possible. Lightfoot, come on! Ooh, a 5. Okay. 5 is good. So we'll go 1, 2. And now we have, that's a 2+ lava space. Succeeds. Oh, actually I get 2 dice, don't I? 3, that's another 2+ lava space. Succeeds. 4, that's another 2+ lava space. So those aren't horrible lava spaces. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Boom, he is out of the lava. Doesn't mean he has to spend another turn in this room, but he is out of the lava spaces anyway. So now we need to, that was the end of that turn. So Hold Back the Darkness. A 5 will fail, puts us up to 8 on the track, gives us another darkness card. Strength of the Void. Void enemies are now +1 defense. And then Joseph gets to, Joseph has to make his spirit test in the box. 5, he makes a spirit again. He is a spirit warrior, jeez. And roll the move. 2 and 3 are both good enough. 1, 2 to get him there. Now, unfortunately, he will have to do 1 more turn of the sentry. But let us see what he gets. He has a long passage. All right. So no token for him. So Hold Back the Darkness for the next turn. 7 is not enough, so we go up to 9. Alright, Joseph has to roll his spirit test. 3 finally fails, so he's going to take a D3, and he gets 2 burning markers. Boo hiss. Sorry about that. Noticed I was running low on space on my camera. I had to clear it off a little, so I got 2 burning markers for Joseph, and then he rolls to move. 6 and a 1. We'll take the 6 to get us away, and I can pick this up. And let us see what he sees through there. He finds a T-junction. That is not good. Okay. T-junction. Oops. Move the track. And then start of the turn, so we're going to Hold Back the Darkness. A 7 will fail, which puts us up to 10 and gives us another darkness card, which is Screams of the Damned. Each hero takes 3 horror hits. Also roll a d6 for each token in your side bag. So 3 horror hits. Joseph takes 1 point of sanity. And then he has to roll for each item in the side bag. So he's got 3 herbs and 1 tequila. On a 1 or 2, it's stolen. So he loses 2 of his 3 herbs. Ouch. That is not good. Joseph really could use those. Alright, so it's the start of Joseph activation. So again, burning markers. When a model has 1 or more burning markers, one of those burning markers is removed. So Joseph removes 1 of his 2 burning markers. And then takes 2 wounds, ignoring defense. He has no armor on. Because his armor is his coats. And he's not taking those, or his tribal armor or his helmet. So he just takes those 2 wounds. There's no armor on that. That's going to suck. I guess Joseph could have decided at the start of the turn, since he knew he was taking those, but those 2 wounds, but it means he would also be taking 2 hits for the global rules. You know what? That's actually probably okay. So let's do that. At the start of the turn, Joseph put on his helmet and his tribal armor because he wants to try to get some armor saves against those. So let's see. He gets his defense against the 2 hits because he's got 2 pieces of clothing on. All right, his defense saves both of them, and then he's got 2 armor saves against the burning marker, and it saves both of them. So actually, he doesn't take those 2 wounds. Now you gotta keep track of those things, I guess. And let's see what else. That is Joseph explored. So start of the turn, hold back. Did I do the hold back the darkness for this turn? Yes, because that was the Screams of the Damned. So Joseph rolls to move. I know I went a little out of order there. Because yes, it was the start of his activation when he also did the burning marker. So Joseph moves. He's got a 3 and a 2. Looks like 3 will get him to the left. So 1, 2, 3. We'll go there. And we will look through and we find a lava bridge. New token. And advance the track by 1 more. And now let's see what we got. Alright, so this is the final room with the final encounter. So we need 3, close 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Good news is it's actually a fairly large room. So Joseph actually might be able to potentially back up. And then we get a high threat. And the threat is 3 Trun Hunters. Ouch. Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, this is gonna kind of hurt. I mean, I was kind of hoping that you guys would see some of the new guys. There are still a couple enemies that you haven't seen yet. But wow, 3 2s, huh? This is rolling for their abilities, by the way. So they have a 2, a 5, and a 6. So the 2 means their pistols are now 3 shots. A 5 means they range to hit is now 4+ instead of 5+. And a 6 means they're savage. They are +1 combat. Good news is they only move 5. Bad news is they've all got 3-shot guns now. But Joseph will be able to hold back at least a little bit. I guess I should have kept. I don't even remember what Joseph may have to keep backing up. I don't remember what other room that was. I think that was the. Well, I'll just say he can't back up farther than I dismantled. There you go. So, those are the enemies. We have the Growing Dread card. So let's see what we have for the Growing Dread cards. So, all heroes are -1 initiative in the first turn of the next fight. They have initiative 4. I'm initiative 4. So it doesn't really matter. They're going to go first anyway, so that one's fine. And the next one is every hero must make a 1 power phase, save. For each failed save, move the darkness 2 steps forward. I am going to spend a grit. Yes, thank you, Pencil Bolly, for reminding me that I can spend, the party, the group, can spend a grit to collectively equal to the number of players to cancel a Growing Dread card. And I forgot to do that the other time. And I did. Luckily, these guys are not void, so the strength of the void does not apply. And there we go. So they will get to go first. So let us hold back the darkness. A 9 is good. And then the Tron Hunters get to go. So they have a movement of 5. And they are assault. So they get to... And their defense is equal to the posse level. So they have a defense of 8. So this is going to be tough for Joseph to get through their defense. And he can only critical if he's up adjacent to them. He needs 6. Is that what we decided? Let's take a look. Joseph does 1 for the Darkstone bullets, 2 for his skill, 1 for his Authority of Otar. So he's +4 and they're an 8. So there are 4. So they're -4 on. He's -4 on each die. So a 5 or 6 will do damage. So conceivably he actually can pick away at them without critically. At least for a couple turns. So we'll see what we can do. Anyway, they get to move 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he shoots. He gets 3 dice, hitting on 4s. So he gets 1 hit on Joseph. Joseph rolls his defense. Yeah, in fact, they're all separate. So Joseph rolls his defense and fails. And it does a d6 damage. So it does 4 points of damage. Oh yeah, and Joseph equipped all his gear. I should mention that, obviously. Well, not the bandana. Doesn't care about the bandana right now. If I need to feel like I need to escape in a coming turn or two, I will certainly use the bandana. But at this point, he won't. So he's got 3 pieces of clothing on the buckle. In fact, I don't even need the buckle on. So the buckle lets him, anytime he kills an enemy, he can heal a wound or a sanity. It also has his free attack once per adventure. From the blacksmith, as we got a long time ago. And but he doesn't need that. He's not at risk of killing. I don't think he's potentially going to kill anybody this turn. So I'm just going to have the helmet and the armor on. So anyway, 4 defense saves, and he saves 2. I will not use his tribal armor, and that gives him 2 wounds. Next fellow moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, gets 3 shots, hitting on 4s, 1 hit. Joseph's defense fails, takes a d6 damage. Roll it in the box, Derek. Alright, 2. So he takes 2. Armor, doesn't block any. Won't use the reroll. I'm going to take 2 more. I'm going to take the 2 more wounds here. Joseph is up to 8. And the last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And their range is 5. I'm within 5, so he's going to take his 3 shots. 4 plus 2 hits. Defense doesn't block either one. Amount of damage is going to be 9. Well, defense blocks half of them. And I will use the armor reroll for these. Flex 2 more, so he takes 3 more wounds. Oops, sorry. Joseph is at 11. So now it is Joseph's turn. So Joseph takes 2 hits for wearing clothing. Defense blocks 1. Armor does not block, so it's going to give him 1 more wound. And he rolls to move. Okay, no grit. He does have 2 grit left. So they move 5, so it means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Joseph doesn't really want to be there. He needs to be able to see at least 1. So he's not really going to be able to get away from them this turn anyway. Right? Not quite enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so Joseph's going to back up to say there. Simply so that he can get, he has a little bit of more room. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Sorry about that. Yeah, so to get out of range, Joseph would have to be here, which means then he would reveal a new tile over there, which he doesn't want to do. Actually, I guess you don't have to explore. But I'd rather go there. I'll go there. They will get their attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, Joseph will have to take all three attacks. But this way, potentially, well, I think he's stuck. I think he just had the 1 turn. Yeah, because then there's no real way to get around him. There's no way Joseph can block stuff off. There's no way Joseph can... Well, he can... I guess his best bet then is to come back here. And then limit to only 2 of them actually getting into melee combat with him. He's pretty much... There's no way for him to get away and kite them the way it is. Because of the bend, he won't have line of sight in order to get the 5 out, and they went first. So that's what he's going to do. And then he gets his shots. So and then next turn he'll start trying to get criticals or what have you. Let's see how it goes without dual wielding without getting criticals. Let's see how it goes. So rolling to hit, pretty bad. Joseph will go ahead and I really kind of need a grit for defense. I also kind of need a grit to potentially reroll damage. But you know what? I do have the eye patch and 2 revives, so I'm going to use a grit to reroll these. Try to get rid of 1 if I can. So these are all hits. So he has a skill reroll, and that's a hit. Okay, so he missed out on the bandolier reroll, but that's fine. So he gets 2 extra dice, 1 for each of those 6s. Then all of these are going on 1 guy. And these guys have 18 wounds. So, you know, Going, I need 5s and 6s, basically, is what we said, to do any damage. And that is pretty darn bad, so we will spend my last grit here to reroll all these. Ooh, that's much better. So, 6s are 2s, 5s are 1s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I did 9 points of damage to one of these guys, which actually is not too bad. Now, I did use a lot of grit. I mean, did use 2 grit to do that. I think trying to get criticals is actually going to end up just being better because I am plus 4 damage. So if I can do a critical on them, I'll do a lot more damage. So 3 dice doing damage with 4 criticals with plus 4 damage is going to be probably a better guess. But that was Joseph's turn. So now we need to hold back the darkness. A 10 will succeed at holding back the darkness, which is a good thing. And then they get to go. It's initiative 4. We're both tied, so they're going to go first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He moves, he shoots, he gets his 3 dice, hitting on 4. So there's 2 hits. Joseph has defense, blocks, neither one. They do a total of 7 points of damage. I think I'm going to wait. I think I need to save my reroll, armor reroll for their combined melee attack. So here's the 7 armor saves. So that does 4 wounds. And Joseph is at 16. This guy moves and shoots. He gets his 3 dice. Hits once. Defense does not block it. Hits him for 3. Does not block. Armor does not block any, so that's 3 more. So that's 19 of his 30. And then he moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he gets his 3 shots. He hits 3 times. Our defense saves once. He takes 5 wounds. Oh, armor blocks 3, so it's going to be 2 more wounds. So at 21. Now, combat. There's 2 of them adjacent to him. They are plus 1 combat, so they are 3 dice hitting on 3s. So 6 dice hitting on 3s. 6 hits. Joseph's defense blocks 2. I might as well do it now. I'll use my eye patch to get my max grit. My max grit is actually 5 now because it's plus 1 in there. So I'm going to spend 1 to re-roll these because each of these are worth 6 damage. Ooh, that blocks 3 more. So only 1 gets through. So 6 armor saves, blocks 1. I get my free reroll because of the tribal armor. Blocks 2 more, so he takes 3 points of damage. Okay. Or still takes 3 points of damage. Woof. All right. Joseph's turn now. They are fear 2. So he has to take 4 fear hits. Saves 1, so he's going to take 3 more sanity. Which puts him at 6. Alright, now it is Joseph's turn. So he rolls to move. Can't really move anywhere. These, you know, so that diagonal's cut off. So he can't actually move that way. So Joseph, yeah, Joseph's gonna roll. He's just gonna roll the 3 dice and hope for criticals. Does get 1 critical. He has a skill reroll and a bandolier reroll. So we'll do the skill reroll. That's a hit. And a bandolier. Actually, yeah, and the bandolier roll. Just what Joseph needed. Okay, so he's got 2 criticals and a regular hit. So the minimum his gun is going to do is 1, and 4 is 5. And that guy has 9. The guy that's wounded has 9 left. So we'll spend 1 critical on him. See if we can kill him off with 1 hit. No, that's going to be 7. All right, we'll do the non-critical on him because he's 2. He's 2 away. He's at 17. Actually, he's 1 away. So 5 or 6 will finish him off, and then I can use the critical on somebody else. No, so that does nothing. So we'll do the other critical, and we'll actually kill him off. Oh, Joseph was not wearing his buckle. I did not put it on. Which also reminds me, he's got 2 hits from those. And then 2 armor saves. Okay, so he's going to take 2 more wounds from the heat. There you go. Joseph will go ahead and use his 1 herbs to heal himself. He gets 7 back. So he's at 19, 30, so he can take 11 wounds. And it is time. If only he had another herbs there. Time to hold back the darkness. 5 will fail. And that gets me another Growing Dread card, which says each hero immediately takes a d6 corruption with no willpower saves. Joseph's going to go ahead and spend a grit to cancel that. He's got 3 grit left. And then they get to go. So that's pretty much what they do. Now they're both going to get shots, pistol shots. So the first one hits 3 times. Joseph's defense blocks all 3. Well, that's nice. Those are 2 really good rolls. 666 and 655. And then 3 shots from the other one. Hits once. Joseph's defense misses. It's going to do 3 points of damage. So Joseph's armor blocks 1, so that's going to be 2. Actually, no need to use a grit for that, I don't think. Alright, and then they attack in melee. So, 6 dice hitting on 3s. Ooh. Okay, make 3 hits. So, defense blocks 2. See that? Only 1 hit. I'm not going to spend a grit, so Joseph only takes 6 wounds. So defense or armor blocks 1. He'll use his tribal armor to block. Yeah, Joseph actually will wear his buckle this turn. I should point that out. Primarily, not that I necessarily think I'm going to kill one this turn, but I think I might, and I'm going to activate it to use its once per adventure ability to do a d6 wounds, ignoring defense. to try to get some initial wounds on these guys too. So, and the reroll works well, so that gives him 2. He only takes 2 wounds there. So 23, 7 left, and no healing. No healing left. That is Joseph's turn. So first he has 3 pieces of clothing, takes 3 hits, defense blocks 1, armor blocks 1, so he's going to take 1 more wound. That heat is annoying, especially in a long protracted battle like this. And then Joseph has 4 fear that he has to make for being additional 2. Saves 2 of them, so that's going to be 2 more sanity. Joseph's still okay on sanity. He's at 7 of 19. Not a lot of sanity loss. And then it's Joseph's turn. So he's going to roll, again, looking for criticals. So 3 dice. We're going to spend a grit to reroll all of them. I'm looking for 6s. There's 1. Okay. And then he's got a skill. I could grit these. I'm not going to. He's got a skill and a bandolier. So, no. So we've got 1 critical, 1 hit. So the hit does 2 points of damage. The critical does 7. Okay, so that puts him up to 9. He's halfway to dead. Then Joseph's going to use his once per adventure buckle ability, so it's a d6 to each one. So d6 to the wounded one, into the box would be good. 3, so it does 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. And then to the unwounded one, it does 2. Not great. Well, not too horrible. I don't think Joseph has anything else that he can do. Nope. He does have the Vial of Brimstone Ash, 1 wound to every adjacent enemy, ignoring defense. Probably only useful for the last, the last bit. So, hold back the darkness because it's the start of a new round. Double 6s. Well, that is good timing. Can either heal D6 wounds sanity or recover a grit. Well, Joseph has 2 grit. I think I'm going to roll. I think I'm going to heal D6. I'll try to heal him up a little bit. Keep him 1. Well, that was a waste. That was not all that useful. The grit would have been more useful. All right. Again, moving and shooting. So the first one shoots because they still do that. They still get to shoot each turn as well. So 1 hit. Defense blocks it. Nice. Second one shooting gets 3 hits. Joseph blocks 2, so only one gunshot goes through. It is worth 6 points of damage. So armor blocks 3. So Joseph takes 3 wounds, which I think he's going to have to take. Which puts him to 26 of 30, so he can only take 4 wounds left. He's got 2 grit to try to do his defense against the melee and the armor against the melee. So, well, actually, I guess not against the armor because he already has the free reroll. So, here is the melee hits. 3s are better. Whoa! Look at that. Luck. Luck for Joseph. He's only hit by 3. Defense. Blocks 1. He will spend a grit. Because again, if he doesn't and he gets hurt, he gets knocked out, he's going to go down to 1 grit. So, yep, so doesn't work. So he's going to take 12. 12 armor saves. And Joseph cannot afford to take too many, and that's not going to be quite enough. He gets his free reroll. Joseph can only afford to take 4 out of this, so... Or actually, he can only afford to take 3. 4 or more will put him down, and that is 5. So that, my friends, will knock out Joseph. He has to spend a revive. But, so he did kind of waste 1 grit. Oh, I forgot Joseph had a burning marker. He would have had to take... Oh well. Oh well. It happens. And then it's Joseph's turn. So, roll the move. He gets a grit. You know, and he'll try to escape. You escape on a 3+. Nope, and he's not wearing his bandana. Speaking of which, he fails all 3 defense rolls for his clothing. He makes once. He's going to take 2 wounds from the heat. And then it's Joseph's turn. So again, 3 dice. Hoping for criticals. Look at that. 2 criticals. Obviously, goes without saying he's not going to spend a grit. So he's going to get his skill reroll, which hits, and it's another critical. And I will take those criticals. All 3 of them. So, critical on him does 7, which is going to be, he's 10, 11, 12, and 7 is 19. So that is enough to kill him. Boom. Heals Joseph for 1, because he has his belt buckle on still. And that leaves 2 criticals. Try to kill this guy off. No, I'll spend a grit. I'm going to re-roll both of these. Because I'm +4. And I can conceivably kill him. If I get, let's see, he needs 16 more. So I need 2 4s, basically. I need to get 8. Being +4. No, I need better than that. I think that's enough. So I'm +4, so this is a 10, 17, 18, 19. There you go. Boom. Dead suckers. Leave them there. Joseph can look at their crushed, mutilated corpses, and he taunts them. Nah, 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 nah. Alright, well, that worked out better. Joseph certainly had some luck. He had some luck. I had some really good rolls and some poor rolls for them. You know, like that last round, getting 3 6s on 3 dice. Granted, I had, you know, I have a few rerolls, but still, 3 6s on 3 dice, you know, was just amazing luck. You know, it helped having the ability on the buckle, and said they had a couple rounds where they were rolling pretty horribly to hit, especially that last round where, you know, they're hitting on 3s, 6 dice hitting on 3s, and only 3 of them hit. There you go. And of course, being in the other world helped Joseph a little bit because he has that Amulet of Otar, which is a friggin' awesome thing to have. That he is the law outside the authority of Otar, not the Amulet, sorry. So he is now law in the other world and +1 damage. It's just super huge. Super huge. But Joseph gets to, well, it doesn't really matter if he catches his breath. He does get a loot card. So let's see what he gets here. He gets some blood money from them at D6 times 25, which is a little bit of a letdown. But D6 times 25, so 75. And then he did succeed in the mission, which, so he rolls a die. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's money. 4, 5, 5 or 6. He gets an artifact. So he gets some money. D6 times 50. Ooh, he gets 300 though. He gets 300 for succeeding in the mission. He found some kind of cool information and cool stuff about this place, and he was able to sell that for some trinkets and gold and stuff from their, the horde of these Trun hunters, and get 300 bucks. So there you have it. Very interesting. Again, lots of luck. These Trun hunters are just pretty annoying when you have high level characters with their defense of 8. But any character obviously who can critical can take them down, because they're not immune to criticals. They don't have an option on their elite chart to make them immune to criticals, which is super important. So criticals are a way to go for the Trun hunters. But if you don't have an ability to critical, if you don't rely on criticling, say for somebody who's dual wielding and doesn't have that artifact or gear card, I don't remember what it is, that lets you critical while dual wielding, or say the Bandito ability doesn't take that ability to critical while dual wielding, then you could be in some trouble. Again, luckily Joseph was in the other worlds. The Amulet of Otar gave him a much better, a better chance. He could do 1 point on 5 damage and 1 point on rolled 6, or 2 points on a rolled 6 for damage. So he could actually do some reasonable damage. And I had a great roll that first round, where I hit a whole bunch of times, even though they weren't criticals, and got a bunch of 5s and 6s, and I was able to do 9 points of damage total just from that. And if there is, that's unlikely, which is why I kept going with the criticals, because then at least one critical is worth a minimum of 5 points, and would be up to 10 points each. So one critical essentially matches however many 7 or 8 hits that I got, assuming the damage even goes through on those. So there you have it. Interesting and exciting challenge for Joseph. He did come through, used 1 revive, and there you have it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with Joseph as he and all of us explore the Caverns of Cynder and all the nefarious things that go on, lava and burning markers and steam vents and stone sentries that are coming up. Obviously, I've only seen 3 of their encounters. I actually have I don't even recall looking through the encounter decks, and all these encounters were new to me. It is interesting that I drew 3, and that was shuffled. Although how well, I don't know. But I drew 3, and there's 3 remains in play. So I don't know if that's an indicator of the kind of play style that Caverns of Cynder is designed around, with lots of remains in play, more environmental effects kind of things. Could be cool if that actually is the idea, is that each room has a remains in play effect. But first look at Caverns of Cynder. Heat sucks. It's also kind of a pain to keep track of what you have equipped and what you don't, because it's what you need each turn, and you have to do that at the start of the turn, not necessarily your activation, because it will most of the gear, most of the clothing, I should rephrase, most of the clothing that you're going to wear is going to be armor pieces, things like that. So I should say is pretty much definitely going to be armor. Just about everything that gives armor saves is clothing. Not everything, but most of the things. So yeah, keeping track of that you're going to equip that, because for example, I didn't equip the bandana because honestly the reroll to escape wasn't going to be that necessary in this fight. So that did save me, but I was still taking like 2 wounds a turn from the heat, especially since Joseph has a really poor save, a poor defense. If you get characters like the Marshal who have a 3+, or if you manage to get your upgrade at this, upgrade your character to be a 3+ save or better, if there is somebody who can get a 2+ defense roll, then the heat's not going to bother you quite as much, because at least you do get the defense rolls. It doesn't say it ignores armor or ignores your defense. So you do get both your defense and your armor, unless we hear otherwise. So, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but that was exciting. Caverns of Cynder, first look through, at least for me, possibly for some of you. Very interesting. Lava squares. You know what? I could have avoided lava coming through the hallway. There is a path there, but if you fight in here, there's a whole bunch of, like, this whole side is lava. It can get nasty. Luckily, the T-junction had no lava on it, but this room had some lava. So fighting in the rooms, positioning can be important. But again, I'm dragging this on. Keep rambling. So thanks everybody for watching, for staying with me, for subscribing. Hope you're having fun, and I will see you again next week. Bye.